Hello, everybody, and welcome to this edition of News You Can Use. I'm your host, Thera Martin. We've got a great program today as we come into the month of March. It's Women's History Month, and I am saluting two dynamic women from Philadelphia, both doing amazing work in the areas where God has placed them. In the first segment, we are going to talk with the person who runs and keeps everything going with Every Murder is Real. Chantay Love will join us. She is the president and executive director. And when we turn the page a little bit later on in the program, we're going to talk with Tanya Morris, and she is the founder and president of Mom Your Business. Stay with us. We'll be back in just a moment. And here we go with the program. We are so glad to have you join us today on LaSalle TV. That's on Comcast Channel 56 and on Verizon Channel 36. Again, I'm your host, Thera Martin, and I'm so glad to have Chantay Love join me. Thank you for coming.
Well, thank you for having me.
Wow, this is amazing to see you in the studio to represent on behalf of Every Murder is Real.
Yes.
And I understand that this is really not your first time at LaSalle TV.
No.
It was 5 years ago. You were on the inaugural program for another of our cable TV hosts.
Yes, I was. And I remember when I came, I said, oh, yeah, I was here before. I'm always excited to be able to at least talk about the work we do and how we're working in community together.
It is such an important job that you have, and the name of your organization, Every Murder is Real, has a meaning behind it.
Yes, it does. Every Murder is Real, which we call for short E.M.I.R Healing Center. It was started behind my brother's murder, E.M.I.R, and we called it that because in Pennsylvania there's a law that states if you played a part in your demise, you weren't entitled to any support. And we knew that murder, there was real pain, real loss, and so that's when my mother, the founder, said, but every murder is real. It's real people. And so we can serve but not judge. And so even though the law creates a separation and create what we call a hierarchy in homicides, at E.M.I.R we treat everyone the same. We're their family who's lost someone, but also can have the process of healing as they move forward.
And your brother's first name was
E.M.I.R. Yep, his first name was E.M.I.R.
So, I mean, to come up with that, Every Murder is Real, and it is your brother's name, Every Murder is Real, E.M.I.R.
Yes, it
what
is.
A connection.
And I think that when we first started, my mom and my sisters, it was just my mom and my sisters, and we were doing a conference at Rosemont College, I remember, and we were trying to get some partners, and someone didn't want to partner with us. They said, oh, we have loved ones that were innocent, and so we don't work with people who don't determine the separation. And my mother said, every murder is real, and the people left behind is the reflection of the love and the loss. And this when she realized, dang, that's my son's name. And so that's what we named it, E.M.I.R Healing Center. Every murder is real. It's real pain, it's real loss, but there's also real healing that happens, and that people do go through our agency, which is unfortunate that they have to, but they also come through saying that they could still be family, they could still at some point in their own time smell the roses. They'll never leave their loved one behind, they can honor them, but they can live.
And over the years, Every Murder is Real has grown. I remember when you all used to just be on Germantown Avenue. You had a little office, a storefront, Germantown Avenue. Now you're on Allegheny Avenue.
And we're on Haynes Street. We have also a small satellite office that's open part of the year in Chester. And so we started in my brother's bedroom. And so we started there with volunteers, and our main focus was how do we get to people that have lost someone? How do we knew what the devastation had done to us. We knew that it was ripping our family in pieces, and that resiliency band that people and family have was snapped. And so how do we get to those people that was feeling what we were feeling, and what will it look like for us to move forward, and also for us to keep our family tight? And what we started out as volunteers, now we are very blessed to have, I have 15 counselors and therapists, and I have 10 trauma support coordinators. And so They do case management, but also very, very, very strategically place healing processes that is culturally centered and also survivor centered. They pick what way they want to travel, and we create the mechanism around to make it happen.
Every Murder is Real has gotten a lot of respect too over the years that you've been here, you all have worked, you've earned your place. And so that government agencies see that, oh, they do the work, they get it done, they're helping people, they're making a difference. So you're able to get some funding to strengthen your work.
Well, we're able to get funding to strengthen our work, but also more importantly, we're able to get funding and help other groups like ourselves. Because what I tell people all the time, no one wants to be the only one.
Yeah.
And that if we're going to heal our communities, if we're going to make change, it takes partners and collaborations. And so we've been I would say one of those test organizations that's taken a risk to not only grow our infrastructure, but also to grow the outcomes that's needed to be surviving and to be what we would like it to be.
Yeah.
I think that we've done some very creative things, and we continue to do creative things in healing processes and what that looks like, but also changing it so that people can be comfortable with who they are. And so I tell people it's culturally centered. It's not just about being a Black person, but also how we heal in our faith, how we heal in different parts of the city, how things people do in South Philly is sometimes different than North Philadelphia. And so can we create a model that allows us to have the guts of some great work, but also pivot when the world is different in different areas? And that's what we do.
Speaking of having guts, I understand that you were also a key part of our current mayor, Sherelle Parker's transition team. I couldn't imagine what it must have been like to get that call or that email that says, we need you, our city needs you.
Well, so let me say, I received a phone call. I was extremely honored. When she called, I thought it was because it was someone that had lost someone to a homicide, because most elected officials call us when there's a loss.
Right.
And when she contacted and what she needed, she said, I needed someone that has your skill set, that has some guts, that's okay with helping to make change, but also keeping community in the forefront. And so people know I'm going to keep community in the forefront. I'm going to keep community organizations in the forefront, so that not only our communities that have been disinvested in, how do we get them to a place of being a healthy and thriving neighborhood? But how we get community partners in the same way. And so I was in shock, but I also was scared because I've never been in that space.
Right.
But I was completely honored, and I saw some amazing people that I've never would have met, that see our city how we see it to be.
Yes.
And they all band together, and it was an amazing. It is an amazing journey, and I was honored.
Awesome. I know you did fine work while you were a part of that team, and I don't know that it's over yet, but
it's not over. It's not over, and I think that all of us that was on the steering committee, the transition team, that we're going to be for the long haul, to do some work in the beginning and also to have voice throughout the process. And also not only to make a bridge, because I do believe that there are bridges that have to be made to keep community connected with government, because government is to work for community.
Yes.
And so if we stay in the forefront, we keep the people in the forefront, and we keep how we transition and how we drive it in the forefront.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That is so important as well. Every murder is real. If people have recently, unfortunately, experienced murder in their lives, in their family, someone close to them, somebody that they know, and they're hurting and they don't know which way to turn, how can they be in touch?
It's great. You can reach us by phone at 215-848-4068. You can email us on the E.M.I.R Philly, emirphilly.org. The good part is that you can also catch us on social media, because we have some amazing programs and opportunities, not only just for those who have been closely impacted, but for blocks, for schools. We've done work with crisis responders, with Work Ready, those that have been exposed to the level of violence that we've seen, that this is an opportunity for you to get, and it's free, get some emotional support so that you can also not only process what has happened to you, but so it doesn't define you.
Now, we have started out, the end of 2023, I kept hearing news reports that said, well, we didn't do so bad this year in terms of the number of people murdered. I think it was a 20% drop
Yes.
in murder in the year 2023. Now we're in 2024 and New Year started and deaths have started coming. I don't know what the count is as of today. We are recording this program on a Monday, February the 26th. But have things slowed down from what you can see and what you're hearing?
I will tell people we celebrated the 20% drop, and I tell people all the time what was different was that community organizations band together. We were band together like a quilt.
Yes.
And so we were ahead of the possibility of any threats and ahead of making change. And so that what drove the numbers down. People will say a lot of things, but it was community partnerships that had not happened like this that drove the numbers down. But we are not at the place of pre-pandemic.
Yes.
And so I'm looking for us to get to the pre-pandemic numbers and drive them down there. And also, I tell people, I don't look at just the homicides. Let's look at the shootings and the aggravated assaults, all in the same aspect. And how do we get to a place where we're not hurting one another?
Well, I know one thing that I am looking forward to as we get further into this new year of 2024, that at some point, Every Murder is Real is going to be at the Allegheny West Community and Resource Center and doing some workshops out of that building. And I can't wait to be able to share that information with our viewing and listening audience. And so we know it's coming. It's coming.
And we are excited because we know a partnership like that is really essential, not only to that neighborhood, but the neighborhoods around. But also, like I said, I don't do anything without partners. And when we link up, we make some real powerful things happen.
Well, that's the best that we can ask for, and we look forward to that partnership growing and growing. And as we close out this segment, I certainly want to extend condolences to your husband and to you over the loss of your dear, dear brother friend that has gotten called on home, and we will certainly think of him as we get through this day. So thank you for still being able to even make it under the circumstances.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
All right,
and I love you.
And I love you back, sis. We're going to continue with news you can use in just a moment. As we change up a little bit, we'll be talking with Tanya Morris. She's going to tell us about Mom, Your Business. Stay with her.
Do you worry about how much someone drinks?
Do you feel angry or depressed most of the time? Do you feel neglected or unloved?
Do you feel you attract people who tend to be compulsive or abusive?
Do you have money problems because of someone else's drinking?
Are you afraid or embarrassed to bring your friends home?
Do you feel that if the drinker loved you, she or he would stop drinking?
If you answered yes to any of these questions, you are not alone.
More than half of all adults have a family history of alcoholism.
Not everyone trapped by alcohol is an alcoholic.
Families and friends are suffering too. Al-Anon and Alateen can help. Call 1-866-200-0223 or visit alanon.org/help.
Hey, I'm worried about your parents. We need to show them how to spot phishing emails.
Agreed, the scammers are out of control.
Plus, help them add multi-factor authentication.
Yes, we use MFA at work and it's great. Software update? Done. Time to celebrate.
For more information on how to keep yourself and those you care about safe online, go to cisa.gov/secure-our-world.
I drive 65,000 miles each year in my bus. If people knew what I know, lives could be saved. You don't want to be in the blind spot of a 40,000-pound bus when I have less than a second to react. I do what I can by changing lanes and taking turns slowly. It really helps when people look out for me too. Give me room to operate safely It's our roads. It's our safety.
And we are back now with our program as we continue in this second segment for this program. It's Women's History Month. It's the month of March, and we're celebrating outstanding women as we get through the next two shows that we do with LaSalle TV. We're glad to have you join us. And in this segment, we're talking with Tanya Morris. She is the founder, the president of Mom, Your Business. I love the name of your business.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. So tell us about Mom, Your Business.
So we started Mom Your Business back in 2017. I really like to say by accident, just doing a tea party, called it Mom Your Business on a Friday night. The Mother's Day weekend, had an all-girl band, had a panel discussion, vendors, and a friend of mine afterwards said, hey, I think this is more than a one-time thing. And so we continued to do workshops. I was working at Cheney at the time, continued to do workshops to support entrepreneurship, women in entrepreneurship in particular, who were just frustrated with where they were, with being stuck in their business and not growing. And so I like to say we really got our footing by 2021 when we started to roll out more programs.
And that's when you knew, I need to get a space. Is that how it happened? Or?
Well, I mean, when we started, after we were doing the workshops and stuff, we always had a vision for a space where we could do co-working and collaboration and events, all around supporting entrepreneurship. And so that was always a part of the vision in 2021 when we started doing our first Business Accelerator program, which is 8 weeks. And that was where we have our cohort, that's our cohort program. But really, that was always a part of the vision. Then the opportunity presented itself last year for us to move into our own space.
And I love the location. Haven't been in there yet, but just looking at the pictures and what have you, I've said, wow, this is nice. I love this space. And I like it because it's easy parking out front. It's an easily accessible venue if you're going to be on public transportation or if you're driving or walking, happen to be in the neighborhood. It's really good.
Yes,
so
that's one of the things that attracted us to that location at 1913 Wesley High Avenue is that, you're, 6 blocks from Broad and Lehigh. You're right near the 22nd Street North Business Corridor. You're right there, and so that was, and it's free parking. So that was one of the things.
Can't beat that at all.
Can't beat that, right? That really attracted us to the
And
location.
you got Senator Sharif Street to come by the other day and do a little tour through your space.
Yep. So the senator came on by to check the space out. Really gave us some great feedback on some things that we can do and made some suggestions on some potential, partnerships as well with his office and some other community programs and working with the folks on the corridor as well. So it was good.
And then for Valentine's Day, you were just so sweet. I mean, you thought about others, and so you had reached out to me before Valentine's Day even came to Thera. You got any business owners, women business owners, who you think might enjoy getting some flowers or a little gift or something for Valentine's Day? I was like, what? Sure. And gave you a few names. And I don't know if the ladies have all said thank you to you yet or contacted you, but they've certainly sent me text messages saying, thank you, Thera, for recommending me.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, because we
Lifting people up.
understand the frustration and the challenges of being a small business owner. And we really wanted to take that day. We called it our Expressions of Love campaign, where we could go, we took them lunch. We took them a book by a Black female author. We took them some sweet treats. And ironically, on that day, Miss Lorraine had all of her Valentine stuff outside. And when she got to work that day, the street was being dug up, right? And so these are the challenges that entrepreneurs face, right? On a money day for her that they have to overcome. And we just wanted to really just kind of encourage them with the E.M.I.Rs and a couple other businesses. And we just really wanted to encourage them, and they were all shocked, and they were all so grateful. They were all so grateful.
Well, I really appreciate that, and I know that they do too. So, anything coming up in the month of March or April that you want to promote that Mom, Your Business, is going to be doing?
Yeah. So, starting on March the 6th, every Wednesday at the NYB Hub North, we're going to be hosting Workshop Wednesdays, which are going to really be a lunch and learn for small business owners. So from 12 to 2 every day, we'll be there.
Every Wednesday.
We're starting every Wednesday. We're starting with a session on creating a growth business plan. I have a colleague of mine named Gary Johnson who's going to come and talk about storytelling. I'm going to do a special session on nonprofits because I get a lot of nonprofits that want to understand how to run their nonprofit more efficiently, how to raise funds. And then we have another date, the 27th. We'll do another session that we haven't identified yet. But that's something we want to continue to do.
Now, that's going to be at your location or someplace else?
No, that's going to be at the Hub. At
the Hub.
1913, we're at 1913 West VI Avenue.
Oh,
So you can come right on, come on around.
I got to promote that to
bring
my
your lunch,
business owners.
come right on around, and we're going to work on your growth plan, show you how to tell your story. A lot of businesses don't know how to tell their story when it comes time to apply for funding. And things of that nature. So we have a guy, Gary's won hundreds of thousands of dollars in telling his story. So he'll be there. Then we're going to do the nonprofit piece, and then we'll have one more open session as well.
And then I know City of Philadelphia Department of Commerce. I know they're there to help small business owners. I have had business owners who have told me they've had a positive experience and it was smooth and everything was great. I've had other business owners who said, oh my God, the red tape, I gave up and went on by myself and got what I needed. So it's a mixed bag, I think, of how people receive what they get out of the City of Philadelphia Department of Commerce. But I'm here to say, try it. Don't just count it out or go on what someone else said if they had an experience where they didn't get what they were looking for. But I say go for it because there are some opportunities that I'm aware of through the City of Philadelphia Department of Commerce to get some help for small business owners.
Absolutely. I mean, and I'm a big supporter of the Commerce Department. We were part of their Most Diverse Tech Hub last year as the pitch competition participant, and we gave away $150,000 to Black and Brown founders. This year with the Hub, we were able to get the storefront improvement grant to do some stuff with our business. So Thera, so you gotta
for it.
You gotta go for it.
You gotta have patience too, because some of that stuff, I know that we recently had applied. When I say we, the Allegheny West Foundation, we've got a storefront on North 22nd Street, and we wanted to get the free video security cameras that the Commerce Department was offering for certain business quarters that are the most distressed quarters in the city. So North 22nd Street is one of them, and we applied. And I was like, oh my God, we applied in July and it's November, we still don't have the cameras. It took some patience. It took patience and everything doesn't work as quickly as maybe we want it to, but if you hang in there, you'll get it eventually.
That's right, and it's like anything else. The same thing with grant applications and anything else. You gotta be persistent, you know, and you know, because you were on a CC'd on a lot of my emails for our storefront improvement grant. You have to be persistent and telling your story and telling folks exactly what it is that you need. So I'm excited. We've been able to get some of the work done. We've gone back and made an additional request that we're waiting to hear on. And so, you know, you have to be consistent.
Okay. All right. Well, we need you to put out your phone number, your website, all that important information.
So you can reach us at Mom Your Business and spelled just like it sounds, .com, and then also mybhubnorth.com on all socials as well. Same thing, Mom Your Business and MYB Hub North.
Okay, phone number that you want to put out?
800-524-4934.
Say it again, slow.
800-524-4934.
A bit of advice or maybe encouragement that you could give to women in particular who are watching our program today, and they want to be a business owner, but you got to make that first step. Like, what would you say to them to push them on out the door?
Well, I would say the same thing that I say when folks used to call me about wanting to write a book, right? The first thing is you got to get it out of your heart, right? And many women, to start a business out of a need, right? They needed to get a car repaired. They had to get a large appliance or a prom dress or whatever the case may be. And then they go, oh, this works. Maybe this should be a business. Those in particular are the women that we're looking for, because we want to show you how to build that from that point there and scale it. And so, but you got to stay the course. You got to dig in, and you got to be consistent in what it is that you're doing.
Okay, well, there you have it. Some advice from an expert, Tanya Morris, the founder and the president of Mom Your Business. She's at 1913 West Lehigh Avenue. And your hours of operation?
So we're there from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. every day.
Okay, 5 days a week, and other special events upcoming. Don't forget, she starts with every Wednesday. The first Wednesday in March, which would be March the 6th, special workshops going on. And they're for women only or for anyone?
Everybody. Workshop
Anyone.
Wednesdays. Yeah,
Workshop Wednesdays. I love it. Okay, I thank you for being with us. Appreciate you so much. And that just about winds us down for this edition of News You Can Use. I want to thank you for joining us today. And I want to remind you, you know, this is a new year. And every time we come into a new year, it's a new election cycle. We'll have our primary election on Tuesday, April the 23rd, and then the general election in November. Every election is critical. Every election is important. But in case you don't know, I don't know, you must have had your head down in the mud. This is a presidential election year. I know you've seen some of the commercials running on TV, right? Seems like that's the only thing we're voting for this year, but it is not. In Pennsylvania, we will be making decisions about our state representatives. All of our state representatives, Pennsylvania state reps, have to run for re-election. And then our state senators in the odd-numbered districts, they have to run for re-election this time, or new people will be coming in. And then a Pennsylvania State Attorney General's office, that's up for grabs as well. So it's a lot to contemplate and a lot to think about as you prepare for Tuesday, April the 23rd, primary election day across the state of Pennsylvania. Make for sure you are registered to vote and then get out there and vote on election day. Check us out when we do our radio program on WURD every Saturday, 7 to 9 a.m. and on WWDB. You can check us out on Wednesdays, 8 to 9 a.m. And meanwhile, keep your dial here at LaSalle TV for more positive and great programming. Have a good day. Bye-bye.